Yesterday was St. George's Day, and that is a fantastic day for everyone in England, as St. Andrew's Day is in Scotland, St. David's Day in Wales, and St. Patrick's Day in Ireland. Scotland, Wales, and Ireland celebrate their national days, and they have done for many, many years, as long as I can remember. But in England, the celebrations are quite muted. But yesterday, a group of patriots went to London to try to start something going on St. George's Day. Sadly, and quite predictably, it was marred by what we have come to know as two-tier policing. This is when the woke Metropolitan Police, under the hand of the woke Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, who is in charge of the Metropolitan Police as the Mayor of London, treat groups like Black Lives Matter and Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil with kid gloves, but they go in hard against anyone who is protesting for freedom, against lockdowns, against coerced injections, or who displays any kind of patriotism, flying British flags or English flags on the streets of London. And what I think happened yesterday was quite deplorable and unnecessary. I already saw a clip from one of the organizers before the event actually even took place, saying that a few days before the event, they'd arranged to have a stage in Whitehall, but the police then told them, you can't have it there. You have to go to the little pit outside Downing Street, where there is a sort of speaking area, but it's not big enough to have any kind of stage or PA system there. And if there is a lot of people that go to that area, if you know London, the little area outside Downing Street on Whitehall just cannot hold enough people. It can hold maybe a few hundred people without spilling onto the roads, but Trafalgar Square and Parliament Square at the two different ends of Whitehall can hold 100 times more people than you can get into the little pit opposite Downing Street. So with thousands of people, potentially 10,000 or more people coming to celebrate St. George's Day, the area just isn't big enough. And I'm sure someone in the police would have known this. And then that led to a lot of people spilling on the road completely unnecessarily. And then the police trying to kettle supporters in and then antagonizing people. And then you have a situation where there is a big setup between a line of Metropolitan Police wearing the yellow jerseys, high-vis jackets, and people wearing St. George's flag, the flag of England, coming into clashes with each other in the small, strict spatial confines of Whitehall. And interestingly and surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, there are cameras in position on the top floors of the building opposite the exact point where the clashes take place, with very, very professional footage taken of the clash, panning in, panning out, panning round. You can see the professionalism of the clips that were on all of the media outlets yesterday, saying the far right have clashed with the police in Whitehall. Now, to my mind, this is a complete setup, and it has a number of possible reasons and outcomes which some people want. Even before the event started at 3 o'clock, at 1 o'clock that day, the Metropolitan Police put out a tweet already smearing people who were going to come even before anyone even turned up. This is what they wrote on X. Later today, an event to mark St. George's Day is expected to take place on Richmond Terrace off Whitehall. That's the little pit area opposite Downing Street. We believe those planning to attend include far-right groups and groups linked to football clubs. Oh my goodness. Some people who like football might be celebrating St. George's Day. Oh, dearie me. How tragic is that? Traveling from elsewhere in the country. Sorry, forgive me for being a little bit sarcastic there, but really saying someone who supports football is far right, or linking them to the far right and calling them a troublemaker, really is actually smearing people. And that is a perfect example of prejudice. That is complete and absolute prejudice of the kind that the Metropolitan Police and the woke Mayor of London are always telling us that we shouldn't display towards any minority groups such as LGBTQIA, APPs and BLMs and all these other people that seem to be within the ambit of the people that they want to protect by their two-tier policing system that they have going on. Now, what this is doing is a number of things. They're not allowing people to just celebrate our national day in England. There is some nasty, spiteful streak that goes through the establishment in this country, which is very anti-English, even anti-British. They don't want people to be proud of our own country. And when people come out celebrating England, that is suppressed in a way that it is not in Scotland and Wales or Ireland. And that, to me, doesn't make any sense on a logical basis, but it's something that clearly is happening. It's also stirring up the idea that the people who are patriots are being treated badly, as opposed to the Palestine marches, which are being treated with kid gloves. Now, this is a big psyop because I actually, to some extent, support both. I'm not pro-Palestine. I'm not pro-Israel. All I want in the Middle East is for people to stop killing each other. But what is being labeled as pro-Palestine hate marches by the establishment, and also the crowd of patriots that were in there in the St. George's Day march, were also to some extent goaded up to actually agitate against them and speak against them. Those marches are really anti-genocide marches. They're anti-killing. They're for a ceasefire. And what is happening with this is a very, very clever and subtle psyop to get the patriots of England to support Israel and be against the anti-genocide marches, even to the point that some people are suggesting and were suggesting yesterday that they should make a counter-protest of patriots against the pro-Palestine anti-genocide marches. And there's nothing the establishment would like to see more than a massive clash between people wearing St. George's flags and other people carrying Palestine flags, because as far as the establishment is concerned, they're both extremists, they're both deplorables, they want to shut both groups down, and they want to label them and tar them both as extremists, and ultimately they would like to take our fundamental freedoms away and create and manufacture and fabricate an event at some point where these two groups come in and have a massive clash, and there's a huge fight of some kind on the streets of London, which would then allow them to say, we need to stop protests taking place for your safety and security. Now, my view is everyone should have freedom of speech. The people and the patriots celebrating St. George's Day should just have been left alone to celebrate in peace. And the people protesting against genocide should be left alone and not smeared either. Let's allow free speech for everybody in this country, and let's end this debacle of two-tier policing.